What is going on, guys? Johnny on the track back here with another video. And this week, I am doing another one of our NASCAR best bets and drivers to watch for this weekend on Easter Sunday at Bristol for the Bristol Dirt Race. And look, I'm excited for this race, but I actually have kind of low expectations for it, which sounds crazy. But I want to go back, flashback to last week where I said, and I was completely wrong. I'll put the hand up. I thought that that Martinsville race had a chance to be the best race of the season. And for one reason or another, this car just does not complement short tracks yet. The good thing is we're only, basically two short tracks in. I actually thought the Busch Clash was pretty good in terms of racing, but Martinsville and Richmond have not delivered at all. Could it be that we need more horsepower? I don't know. I saw someone say we need more horsepower. We need the tires to work harder, the car to work harder, which makes sense because the car's working harder on the mile and a halves. And maybe that's why we're seeing such awesome races on those and the intermediates. Even the road courses have been great. Basically, everything's been great except these two short track races. The good thing about Richmond is at least it had strategy involved. And another weird thing about Richmond versus Martinsville was Richmond, the tires really mattered. Martinsville, they didn't. They really didn't matter. There was no strategy involved. Pit strategy didn't, come into play like it did in Richmond. And quite frankly, Martinsville was one of the worst races I've watched in a long time. And I mean, we've had Texas on the schedule. So, but it was a snooze fest. So again, does the car need to work a little harder on short tracks? Why is it so hard to pass? Is it that this car handles maybe different in clean air than the last car did? I don't know, because the last car, we were looking forward to short tracks. We were looking forward to super speedways. We weren't really looking forward to the mile and a half. Even the road courses really, sometimes they were good, other times they weren't. And we always look forward to short tracks, and last gen car, the short tracks really always delivered. So I think this is a big obstacle that NASCAR has to navigate over, because I feel like this was the last thing anybody expected was short tracks to not deliver. So again, I don't know enough about, I know the packages, how the packages work, but I don't know, quite frankly, enough about the packages to really weigh in on why this car, it seems like it's so hard to pass on short tracks when it's so easy to pass on mile and a halves. I threw out a stat a couple weeks ago, like Kurt Busch passed, I forget the number, but basically Kurt Busch passed an insane number of cars on green flag laps, one of the most all time. And that's what's been so cool about this car on the speedways, is that it is easy to pass. It's easy to pass somebody and then they pass you right back. And again, I don't know enough about why this is happening on short tracks, but I do know that we're really only two short track races in, and we're only a couple months into this new car really debuting. So I think we have plenty of time to get this fixed. Maybe it's just the teams don't know enough about the setups and what to bring to these short tracks. But there's definitely a problem there. So, I feel like I needed to address that and how wrong I was about my prediction on what Martinsville would look like. Some things I did nail, though. I told you Joey Logano was going to have a great day. He sure did finish second. I wish he finished first. I had some good money on him. That would have been a good cash, but I told you top 10, top 5, top 3. I expect him to have a really good day. He did. So those would have all hit. And I told you Hendrick. I was wrong on JGR. They weren't very good at Martinsville. Again, I think a lot of that has to do with how this car has, performed at short tracks. I don't think JGR brought the right setups for Martinsville. I feel like a lot of teams felt that way. Denny Hamlin's team was way off. Just way off. They didn't have speed. They didn't have anything on Saturday night. So I was wrong about that, but I was right about Hendrick. I told you one of the Hendrick guys would probably win it. I think I went with Chase Elliott. He was my pick. He looked good. He looked strong those first two stages. He hit a wall stage 3, and William Byron came out the winner. But so we had some good stuff. Tyler Reddick, I thought, would have a good run. Most of the day he did. He was right around that top 10 threshold where I felt like he would get a top 10. And sure enough, I think that final restart, he was like restarted 10th or 11th and got passed by the Bush brothers, who had fresh tires and were able to pass a lot of cars. And that was the thing, right, with the tires, where the tires mattered early in the run, like the first like 8 to 10 laps, and then they just did not matter. Again, I think a lot of that has to do with, the fact that it's tough to pass, right? But I mean, the tires were huge at Richmond and they just did not translate to Martinsville. So weird. A lot of unknowns with this car. But I think it's things that will fix themselves over time. Hopefully the short tracks get better and the mile and a half stay the same. I would hate to see the short tracks get better and the mile and a half go back to what we saw with the last gen car, but who knows, right? We'll see what happens. But this week, Easter Sunday night, we have Bristol Dirt. I mean, I don't know. It's a short track, right? It's a dirt race. So if we look past the past 2 weeks, is it going to be good? I don't know. I mean, I feel like I have low expectations for this weekend, but who knows? Maybe this could be the first short track that really delivers. We're on dirt. How does this car handle on dirt? I don't think anybody knows the answer to that question. But I will tell you, which is going to bring me into what I'm thinking for this weekend. I feel like last year when they did the dirt race, I feel like a lot of the questions that we had and a lot of the expectations that most people went into the race with, a lot of that came to fruition. So, for instance, I think a lot of guys said, target the dirt racers. Look for a dirt guy to win this race. Now, Joey Logano, who has little to no experience on dirt, now he's got experience. He's a winner on dirt. He'll do the truck race as well. He won. So, I mean, he's a guy that had no experience and he ended up winning. But Ricky Stenhouse Jr., who had plenty of dirt experience, is a really, really good dirt racer. He finished second and he had a really good run. That was his best run of the year. So, I think in that case, I'll read off the top 10 from last year. It was Logano, Stenhouse, who really good dirt racer, Hamlin, Suarez, Newman. I think Newman has some dirt experience. Byron, Reddick is good on dirt. Blaney, Eric Jones, I think does some dirt, and Chase Elliott, who didn't really do much dirt. So the top 10, I mean, it was mixed, right? But again, I look at the Ricky Stenhouse, who had 42 points throughout the day, which was huge for him. I think a lot of us expected him to do well, and sure enough, he did. So I think going into this race, I would say target the dirt guys. I would say look at Larson, look at Stenhouse, Bell, Reddick, Briscoe. I would say look at them, because I think if this race just turns out, there was some huge wrecks in that race. It took out Larson, it took out Bell last year. So who knows what they would have done if they got to race the whole race. But I would say right now I'm thinking target the dirt guys, and then on top of that, target Logano because he's going to have the truck race experience and he won here last year. Target Suarez, who had a good run last year, and target Eric Jones, who had a really good run last year here and has had some pretty good momentum this year. This is one where, I don't know if I can call a winner on this, because I really think this is a lot of unknowns, but I feel like Larson is going to pull this one off. We saw the first repeat winner, William Byron, last week. I think Kyle Larson is a guy that can get it done to do that again, but I would not count out Stenhouse. Stenhouse has had an abysmal start to this season, so it would be really cool to see him, basically, change the course of his season with a single race right here. And I definitely think he has he has, that it factor to him, because the thing about Stenhouse is you always say, don't count him out on a super speedway. That's where he is best. And I think now people said, don't count Stenhouse out at the dirt race, and he finished second. So I would go in with that same mindset. Don't count Ricky Stenhouse out of this thing. Larson, Christopher Bell hasn't really had a good start to his season. So I feel like this is a race where he could turn things around. Reddick has been right on the nose of getting his first win. Can he get it here? I definitely think he has a shot. So I would say the guy to win, I think, is Larson and Bell. I would say, put quite a bit on Stenhouse finishing top 10, top 5, top 3. I think some of those will pay out pretty well. Briscoe, same thing. I would do a top 10 and a top 5 for Briscoe. Suarez, Eric Jones, I would look at top 10s for them. And yeah, I mean, Larson to win, Christopher Bell to win, Stenhouse to win, and probably I think Logano is going to come in with that mindset of, dang, I'm pissed that I didn't get it done last week. So I think he could get it done this week, because look what happened to William Byron, right? He had Richmond locked up, and basically out of his own control, it fell right out underneath him. And so he follows up with a big win at Martinsville. I could see that with Logano. He's pissed. He didn't get the win. He follows up with a big win, his second win at Bristol Dirt. Those are the guys I'm looking for. Those are the guys I'm watching for at Bristol. Again, I'm really going to come in with low expectations, because the short tracks just have not been good. I know this is a totally different style of race, a totally different race in general, but it is a short track. I still think it's going to be hard to pass people on this, and I would expect one big one. I would expect a big wreck. So, if things turn out the way that I think most of us think they will, target the dirt, guys. That's what I'll say to this. But last year, like I said, Larson, Bell, they got in a wreck and it took them out. So we'll see. That's who I'm leaning with going into this week. I hope we're in for a good race, but we shall see. The good thing is it is Easter Sunday. It is a night race, so the hype around this race should be pretty good. I think they did a good job marketing this race. I expect it to have pretty big TV numbers. We'll check back next week if that's the case. Hopefully that prediction isn't like the Martinsville prediction where I was totally wrong, that'll be a good race. But I do expect these ratings to be very good. They were very good last year, so we shall see. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more content.